Welcome to Identity Unboxed, where we provide mentorship and promote representation for Black professionals in the advancement of the Black community.
We are seeking guidance from exceptional Black leaders, scholars, and professionals with expertise in their respective fields.
We hope to foster a space that promotes authenticity, inclusivity, and restoration for our listeners while exploring the intersection of our personal and professional lives.
This project is a culmination of our lived experiences as young Black professionals to transform our life trajectories, to overcome adversity and reach triumph.
Our intention is to inspire you on your path to discovering your purpose. All right. Well, Jalen, we are so excited to have you here on Identity Unboxed. You are a senior and wide receiver at the University of Washington. You received the 2022 All-Pac-12 Honorable Mention, and you are an NFL draft prospect. You just recently completed the Combine, and we are so excited to hear about your journey of navigating Division I athletics and finding your identity while also pursuing your career in professional athletics. And one of our first questions for you is, before committing to the University of Washington football program, you weighed 25 Division I offers and were ranked amongst the top 10 wide receivers across California and the nation. Can you describe the moment that you felt influenced to pursue football at the Division I level and how this path formed leading up to your time at the
UW? I would say the time that I felt where I could pursue it was during a game where I went absolutely crazy. I think I had like 7 touchdowns and 300 some yards. And after the game, a lot of kids just came up to me, especially colored kids. They came up to me and were like just super happy and asking me questions. And that continued for 3 more years in high school or 2 more years in high school. And just the feeling of being able to help kids or like make kids smile for my community was dope.
That's awesome. Do you, just from your experience, from high school to now, how does that feel? Can you go a little further into that, like just how it feels to be a role model for so many young kids? Because I know just as an individual, it's probably hard to believe sometimes, these kids really look up to me. But how does that feel? And have you really been able to soak that in yet as you've, climbed?
Yeah, I've been able to soak it in a lot. Where I'm from in Fresno, not a lot of us get attention and not a lot of people make it out to, become professional sports players or whatever. So, just having that big influence on kids, it's unreal. Sometimes you sit back and you're just like, dang, I really am, this type of role model. It doesn't really get better than that.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And also your decision of pursuing football at the University of Washington, and you shared you're from Fresno. Could you discuss a bit more about how you came to that decision of the UW? I know I spoke with you years ago when you were a senior in high school. You were weighing all these different offers, and you kind of talked through your thought process then, but I would just love to hear if you could reflect on that and what made you decide on the
UW. Going throughout the process, I had a lot of, offers and visited a lot of schools, and I was able to meet a bunch of new people. But I really respected the coaches over there at the time and respected what they did, and loved the explosive offense they had and how they treated my parents and my sister at the time. And, I was waking up in a hotel one morning and I was like, I just had a feeling on my heart that I need to go to UW. And at first everybody was confused because I had, Alabama, USC, Florida, Georgia. I had everybody, and I decided to go to UW because there was just a feeling on my heart that I needed to come here.
That's awesome. Did you get used to the weather? I bet that's much in California.
I hated it at first, but then as I started, having a couple years in there, it was cool. Like, there'll be days where sometimes I just sit out the window and listen to the rain, or go outside and take a little walk in the rain. But you have 4 seasons in Seattle, so you get to experience everything.
No, really though, someone made that point to me. They were like, if you had, because I was talking about, I just hate the weather here, I just can't stand it. And they were like, it's all about balance. Like if it's sunny all the time, you're not going to appreciate it. So I feel like that's a good metaphor for Seattle. Like it's not always the brightest, but the good times are really good.
Nah,
Uh,
you for sure gotta learn to appreciate all the weather and stuff, especially because in Fresno it's just hot. It's heat every time, every day. So yeah.
that's awesome. So you enrolled at the UW in 2020 amid the height of the pandemic when things were remote, college athletics were just in a state of ambiguity. And so coming out from that and reflecting on your college transition, what were some of the challenges that you faced and what were a few strategies that you implemented to overcome the challenges during that transition?
I would sit in my room a lot. I would get on the video games, and I'd probably, spend 12 hours on the game and not talk to anybody, or, go walk outside, or, have a social life. Um, and then when it came to having that social life, I kind of like backtracked a little bit, and it was kind of hard for me to talk to people and hard for me to relate. I mean, it was just a hard time because we couldn't really do anything. So that led to me making excuses for myself, not working hard, and I kind of just had to force myself to get up out of bed, and kind of make the main thing, and learn that you gotta work hard to achieve what you want. And so, as COVID happened and the year went on, I got better at just um, waking up at a scheduled time and going to workouts and calling my mom and calling my dad and asking them how they're doing, just so I could feel a sense of purpose in the world.
Yeah, thank you for being so open about that and sharing your struggles of trying to find that routine and a time when there was so much uncertainty during COVID, doing remote class. I can't imagine you having to adjust to that your freshman year and then also trying to adjust and acclimate to being an athlete as well. Could you take us back to like what your day to day was like your freshman year and some of those main challenges? I know you talked about like finding community and how you struggled with trying to push yourself, to continue to pursue your goals. But if you'd be willing to kind of go more in depth on that.
I mean, sure. We probably had workouts around 6:30 in the morning, and we'd have to show up an hour early to get COVID tested, and that was a struggle because I'm not a morning person. So I mean, getting up at 5:15 is crazy, but we ended up doing it, and we get our nose swabbed, and we'd work out with masks on, and then we practice with masks on, and then as soon as we left, shoot, I was just inside. I'd turn on Apex, turn on the Xbox, and just get going on the game, and that was literally my schedule for to half the summer, just because I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah, that's really how it was, though. It was hard, the pandemic, and just having to adjust to really everything shutting down. And so I love that you mentioned like the human experience of it, just, the negative mental health aspects of literally, and I could only imagine like, I was living off campus, had my friends. And so as someone who was new here, when that was your time to like really build community and find community and the world was flipped upside down, it was probably crazy to just have to adjust to that and being away from family. But hey, look, I mean, it all paid off and the hard work, the proof is in the pudding. So
Oh yeah, it definitely took me a minute to, or actually a few years to like get that concept down of, you could build relationships and you could go talk to people and walk around and stuff. So I mean, it was a struggle for sure, for sure.
yeah, I feel like people are still kind of coming out of it because, in the middle of it, as you kind of got used to it, but then it's like, wait, is this real life? Like, how do you interact with
Yeah.
people again? Um, how, was it interact? Were you able to interact with any of like, the younger folks? I know sometimes you guys, interact with a lot of the young kids and, you'll sign stuff for them. Were you not able to do any of that during the pandemic?
Nah, I wasn't able to do anything in that nature. I mean, if anything, the only people I interacted with were my teammates, and that's really how I was able to talk to people more and find that motivation as well. I mean, just go. I was able to build family over there for real, just because those are the only people I hung out with for a year and a half, and so just meeting new people wasn't a thing, and we just all spent all that time together, and we find ways to have fun. So I mean, it was all worth it.
That's so
Awesome.
great. Yeah, I anticipate that you probably got really close with being around, your team so often. And it's similar to an episode that we recently just did with Crystal Langhorne. She's a former WNBA player and talked about being in the bubble and how, she was stuck there for months on end, but was able to really make those long-lasting connections. So that's
Yeah.
great. And moving forward, touching on academics and balancing that with your athletic endeavors, University of Washington rests at the top of national and global rankings for its research reputation and academic performance. What led to the decision of your undergraduate major, and how have you balanced the rigorous academics at the UW with the significant commitment to your sport?
I had met with a teacher, and she gave me something to fill out, and it was really just a personality sheet, and it would just be questions on what I like and what I don't like to do and all that. And she was able to figure out that my like I should go like get into CHID. Have you heard of that major, CHID? And
Mhm.
I mean, since COVID happened, I wasn't like so open to talking in front of people and like sitting in circles. I was kind of uncomfortable, but um, I mean, as soon as I got into my first class, I mean, we were sitting in circles and smiling and talking about anything, literally, whether it came to serious topics or fun topics. I mean, it was all just a mix of everything. So, um, that was fun. But if I could talk about the academic process and balancing it, I mean, I don't think there's really a balance. I think that um, you got to do the hard stuff if you want to be successful. You can't really look for any excuses. And I mean, there's some days where you have assignments due at 8 p.m. and you get off of practice at 6, and you got to get home right away and figure out a way to get it done. And I think it's just about keeping the main thing and making no excuses for yourself.
Yeah, for real. I feel like, and especially during the time when you started your college journey during COVID, it was such an interesting time, and it was easy to, get down on yourself or to be in that isolation and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm the same way. Like I would rather like when I'm done, especially during the pandemic, I was like, I just want to sit on my phone, watch TV, and go to bed. It's like I didn't want to do much else outside of that. So I appreciate you, speaking to having to find that in the previous question, having to find that motivation because the student athlete grind is real. That's exactly why I did not run track in college because I was like, I already know, like, I don't want to do sports long term. So I know I'm going to be working,
Uh,
doing internships, running around. So I can only imagine you guys are traveling on top of other stuff. And I know some student athletes that work on top of that. And I'm like, do you even have time to live or like for
all right.
yourself? And so can you talk a little bit more about that, lack of balance, I guess?
Lack of balance. I think it comes with having a routine, right? I mean, you kind of got to identify areas where you're free and um, identify areas where you're super busy throughout your day. And that was kind of what my receiver coach, Junior Adams, what he emphasized in my life because he knew that I was always making excuses or putting stuff away or finding reasons not to do anything. And I mean, uh, if I just didn't have motivation to do work, I'd email my teacher and be like, "Hey, I'm sick today. Like, I might have COVID. Can I like, can I redo all these assignments that I missed over the years?" um, but nah. I mean, I made my routine and um, yeah. I mean, just finding your routine.
That's so great to hear. And it sounds like you developed the accountability of yourself and your sport contributed to that. And would you be willing to share a bit more about some of the skills that you have gained from competing in athletics just throughout your life, and how that's influenced you to kind of continue to be the best version of yourself?
I feel like I was able to lead others well. I mean, I feel like when I came into college and had that COVID year, I wasn't really in tune with myself, and I also didn't understand a lot of things. But going through those specific struggles and being able to overcome them and overcome challenges, um, I feel like one of the biggest things was to lead people and to understand people. and also just to show empathy to others because we're all hurting. We all go through things, and you shouldn't walk around thinking that you're better than anybody else because at the end of the day, we all got one life to live. So
Exactly. That's so cool that you touched on that because it's so easy. Just from, my experience, it's so easy to get caught up in that and, the ego and the self. And so it seems like you've really, done a great job at just staying grounded and staying humble. And I saw that you had a little partnership with Treehouse, for one of their events. Could you talk a little bit more about that and just your endeavors, with the local nonprofit outside of football?
yeah, I mean, Treehouse was it was a fun experience. I mean, we were able to go put some smiles on kids' faces, and also on the other side of things, make commercials and introduce parks and stuff on TV. So it was a cool experience. But being able to be around kids um, and show them passion is something that I found passion in. And there's a lot of kids that grow up in bad environments and go through worse things and we went through, and being able to just put smiles on their faces and give them motivation and give them a reason to live and um to grow. I mean, it's awesome.
That's awesome. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about just your experience at UW as a Black man, where just 5% of the students are Black at the institution. Can you describe how you navigated your identity throughout your college experience and how you cultivated community and just connected with other Black folks?
I'll say it started with my teammates. We were all I mean, it goes back to that COVID year, right? We were all locked up in a locker room and um didn't know anybody for I don't know how long, but I mean, we were able to just hang out with each other in the dorms and have fun and get to know one another. And as stuff started opening up, we would go out and hang out in large groups. I mean, I can't really find the answer of how I found my identity because I found it through everybody that I was surrounding myself with.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine you're so busy with your already hectic schedule. That's kind of the theme that we had another interview with Sam, another athlete at UW, and that's what he was talking about. Just how he found a lot of his community through his teammates, and as an immigrant, coming over to UW and then slowly branching out. And so I think that's a really good thing. Would you view that as a positive, or would you view that as more so of like there's a positive and a negative aspect to that of, being so busy that you're mainly confined to your team, or did you find that to be, just normal?
I find that positive. Um, I mean, at the end of the day, only only student athletes understand what student athletes go through, and surrounding yourself with the people that have the same struggles as you is, um, I think it's better than surrounding yourself with somebody who doesn't understand those struggles, um, because then you get to, you know, I would say you get to relate more, and you get to just find yourself through them.
Right. I think that's awesome. That's one thing that it's important, that about community, not to necessarily complain about life, but sometimes it's, good to have people that can relate to you so you could be like, man, I'm busy. Like, this sucks sometimes. Like, I got this paper due, but we just got out of practice and I don't know what to do. So it was probably good to have that sense of community where people could actually relate. And it's not like you're just, talking to someone who kind of understands, but not really.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so great to hear that you had a team to lean on, and in those times where you're doubting yourself or you want to continue to push forward, that you have people that are able to relate to you and support you. And I was hoping that you could share a bit more about your collegiate athletic experience, particularly giving back to younger Division I athletes and some of the perceptions that you might have had about collegiate athletics before you became an athlete. So what is one piece of advice that you would like aspiring Division I athletes to know?
Shoot, being a Division I athlete is hard, and you got to accept that. There's really no navigating it. in a cheating way or an easy way. You kind of just got to do the hard things and the things you don't want to do at all. I mean, you're going to be put in uncomfortable situations all the time, and that's okay. I mean, you grow from those and you grow from your mistakes, and it's okay to do that.
Was there anything in particular that you found to be unexpected when you started out at the UW, or like any particular challenges that you encountered initially that was hard for you to overcome?
My time management.
Hmm.
I would say that me finding times throughout the day to do homework or to do the important things, that was probably the hardest for me because I would always make excuses and put it to the side and be like, I'll do it in like 30 minutes. And then I get distracted and realize that 3 hours later I didn't do it. And so now that I didn't do it, I'm probably not gonna do it. So it was probably that.
I'm smiling because it's so funny. Just talking about our dynamic. Me and Tiana are like that, where we're like polar opposites. So like, I'm always the one that's like, oh, like I'm gonna do it, and like I'll be like working up at midnight, and she's just so like boom, boom, boom. And so I definitely relate to you on that because I was. Did you like late night coffee nights, pre-workout? Like I would do the whole thing. I would be like, I'm gonna take some pre-workouts. My brain's wired. I don't know if you could do all that in the.
I find myself laying in bed and just go to sleep, bro. I don't got time for that.
So I should it in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah.
bad, bro.
No, it's really so funny because the dynamic between Brad and I, like, I'm very much regimented. I'm like, I'm doing this at this time, and then I do it. But he just kind of has his own workflow. But I think it's all about knowing yourself and what works best for you. And it seems like you figured that out with just like creating that schedule that works for you, and sticking to it. But it's good to hear.
Yeah. So following your national championship debut game where you scored a touchdown on one of the Huskies' most competitive teams in history, you recently declared for the NFL draft to be set to be held in April in Detroit. What does this preparation look like to make this decision, and how do you feel the UW prepared you to compete professionally?
I just felt like I was ready to be a pro, everything I did. I mean, whether it came to my preparation or just my endurance and my maintaining, I just felt ready, like I was ready to go to the NFL. What was the other question?
Oh, how do you feel that the UW prepared you to compete professionally? Like, what have you
Oh,
gained that you'll
shoot.
take with you?
I say accountability, at its finest. I mean, because whether you're 1 minute late or on time, right there, got to work out at 7 a.m. A coach will be on you, and they would tell you, you got to be here early, and things don't work like that around here. I mean, yelling all the time about that stuff. Um, Shoot, it was something that I went through for 4 years. It was really time management, being on time. So, yeah,
The timeliness is a challenging one, especially when you have to get up so early too. And with you not being a morning person, I can see how those early
yeah,
workouts
it
would
was a
be hard.
struggle. It was a
Yeah.
struggle. I could not get up at 5:30. I'm never doing that.
Never say never.
Right, it's gonna come back and hit me, right?
I know it's how it kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you share a bit more about like your NFL dreams? And you recently were just at the combine this past week. So can you kind of walk us through like what did that look like for you? What was the process in preparation leading up to that? And then also like what you would like other aspiring, NFL dreamers to think of as they prepare for something like the combine.
Um, I needed to get a little bigger for the combine, so I came after the championship. I weighed about 184. Yeah, 184 pounds, and I wanted to be at 190, 192. And so I mean, I had to change my diet. I had to change my workout routine when it came to that. So I was able to do meal prep, and I had to set time of when I was working out, and waking up at 3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, so I could get uh, used to the time zone in Indianapolis because we were going to be doing things way past that 3 hour mark. So, um, I mean, all that, I mean, that took discipline. And I had to stay focused on the dream and understand that if I really want something, I gotta take advantage and grab it. But the combine, shoot, that's a grind, man. Oh my goodness. Um, you're up every day at 7 in the morning. Um, sometimes 7:15, sometimes 8, but you're up early every day and you're on your feet, walking around, paying attention, listening to people for 5, 6 hours out of your day, nonstop. I would say it's a boot camp. I mean, a lot of people look at it as like, oh, you're getting to just interviews and you just got to do this and this, but you're doing something every day for 6, 7 hours. So your day is consumed, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted, and you're probably done with your day at 10:30, 11. So you have little time to sleep, and um, shoot, it's a grind.
It's a grind, I bet. How do you practice mindfulness through all that? Just being consistently so busy, and I'd imagine it's going to continue to be that way. It's a question that we ask frequently, but what's unique to you? What do you like to do just to get your mind right and get in the zone?
Um, it may sound weird, but I make my own playlists when it comes to certain situations, like certain games throughout the season. Um, I'll make a playlist, but for the combine, I made a specific playlist, and I would just listen to it all the time, and it would really soothe my mind. But then also I would get on my Bible. I mean, I have a strong faith in God, and um, I mean, all the glory goes to Him. But also just finding time to talk to Him throughout the day, whether it was 30 minutes or an hour. I mean, however long it took, I was gonna make sure I prayed and had a little conversation with Him.
That's so important, for just whatever you practice, just that mindfulness, spirituality. Because oftentimes, like you said, the grind can be lonely, I bet. And so just having that faith to lean on is that what you say that's what you say gets you through life a lot?
No, 100%. I mean, if I didn't have God, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be somewhere doing something wrong. But just having God and being able to pray to Him and Him being able to do the things He does. I mean, there's no really formula to it. It's just God.
That's so great. I'm so happy to hear that faith has guided you and continues to ground you. And I was hoping if you would share a bit more on mindfulness, particularly following the national championship game where you all were making history being there. But after that loss, how did you kind of pick yourself back up? I'm sure that was really difficult for you to have to come off of that, be on such a large national stage, and then move past it and continue to shoot towards your goals.
Yeah, I was sick after that loss. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but I don't think I've really gotten over it. I don't think anybody on the team's gotten over it. I'm pretty sure that loss is gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. Um, it just sucks because you do all this work and you win all these games and put your body through so much, and then you come back and lose. I mean, I was grateful to be there. We were all grateful to be there. Um, but shoot, at the end of the day, shit is gonna affect me for the rest of my life.
The good news is that you probably got plenty more wins and victories to celebrate in your life. So
Oh,
hopefully,
for sure.
hopefully one day you'll look back and be like, that didn't affect me at all now. You'll be like, I got so much under my name that I'm good.
Man, yeah. Nah, hopefully I could do that.
For sure. What would you say, random question off the top, what would you say your like go-to songs are just to, get you hyped? Because I bet in sports, like music is just such a pivotal part of that, like getting in that headspace.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you
give us
got
the
like a
playlist.
top three?
I was just going to ask, give us the playlist now.
Um,
Yeah, top three favorite artists
top three favorite artists.
and then
Or
songs.
songs, or both.
Both.
Have you heard the song? What's it called? Didn't You Know by Erykah Badu?
I have.
Yes, I love that song. I
That
love
song
Erica.
that gets me in a little mental.
Yes,
It's like a
get you
highlight song.
focused.
Yeah. I like Swim Good by Frank Ocean,
Classic.
and
Love
then
Freak.
um, Act the Donkey by Young Boy.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty violent, but
I'll listen to it after.
like,
Not on the podcast, but
That's okay. Sometimes I like the beat. I don't do any of that, but I
I
like the
like the
beat. Yeah, so I want to know, moving forward from that, what is the greatest piece of advice you've relied on throughout your personal journey? And is there a memorable moment that you found this advice to be particularly useful?
I would say it's just keeping the main thing the main thing. I go by that, and I've been going by that for about 3 years now. I mean, you always gotta, you have a mission, you have a goal. I mean, you have a set vision for yourself. I don't know about y'all, but um, I tend to look into the future, and I like to chase my older self. So like, I'll look at what I look like at. So what, I'm 22 right now. I look at what I'm gonna look like at 35, and I'll have a set vision. And for me, it's like I want to be this God-fearing man with um, a great family, and I want to, be able to walk my kids out of my big mansion with our two big dogs and let them go run in the grass. That's something that I want, and I want to, have my beautiful wife next to me, and I want us to all be happy. And I think in order to achieve that, you have to set basic goals for yourself every day if you want that type of lifestyle. And I mean, keeping the main thing tells me every day that, you're a football player, you're an athlete. I mean, you got to do set things every day to achieve that. And you got to be consistent because you can't keep the main thing by, wandering off or, forgetting something or not sticking to your schedule. So, always just making sure you understand where you're at and where your feet are.
I love that. I completely resonate with that forward type of mindset of just thinking in the future and always trying to envision yourself where you'd like to see, yourself end up. So that's great. And I was hoping to hear a bit more about any people or, particular moments that have influenced you in your life positively. Is there any role models that you've had that have made a large impact on you?
I'll say my grandfather. He passed away in 2020, but I mean, I feel like him passing away was significant to me because he kind of passed me the lamp when it came to leading and help leading our family. And I feel like my family also understands that um, with him passing, somebody needed to step up in his area. And I feel like I'll never replace him, but um, just me using everything he taught me. That's how I honor him, and that's how I make sure that he understands that he was right when it comes to me and his teachings and everything he did for me. So I'd say that's probably the most significant thing.
Awesome. That's really great to hear that I'm glad you had a good relationship with your grandpa. And how do you feel, or how important is legacy to you? Is that, just tying that in with, God and, your spiritual journey? Is that a big motivator for you?
Um, Legacy. Yeah, I mean, I do want to leave a lasting mark in my profession or with my family, but also at the end of the day, um, I feel like I was put on this earth for just spreading the word and um, spreading God's legacy. So, I mean, I'm not gonna put mine for his. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, as you absorb this moment of your journey, what words of encouragement or wisdom would you like to share with your younger self if you could just have a one-on-one combo with 10-year-old Jalen?
Bro, you need to stop making the excuses. And you need to hold yourself accountable. If mom tells you to do the dishes at 8 p.m., do the dishes at 8 p.m. If coach tells you to be here at 7:30, be there at shit 5:30, 6 o'clock. Get your body ready, get ready for a workout. Do that. Don't make your bed before you leave the house. So when you come back to the house, you don't have much anxiety to look at your dirty house, stuff like that. I mean, I feel like when it comes, I feel like it's everything's in the small details. Um, I mean, my girl preaches this a lot, but she's like a perfectionist when it comes to, having a clean kitchen. And I realize that whenever I'm around like dirtiness or there's like clothes on my floor, I feel a burst of anxiety in myself. So I like to keep my stuff clean as well.
That is so good to hear. You're setting yourself up for success by doing those little things every day. So that's
But
great. And I was hoping if we could dive more into some of your future goals. You just recently signed with Rock Nation Sports, which is super exciting. And congrats. Yeah, so I would just love to hear more about that partnership and kind of what you're looking forward to just in the future.
they kind of do everything. I mean, I like their music side. They have all the artists signed to them, and they're run by Jay-Z. I can't wait to,
Our
go to
favorites.
yeah, I can't wait to go meet with them and chop it up with them.
That's
That's
so
gonna be
cool.
dope. Just learning from them and learning about their journey and how they were able to get to where they're at. But I mean, um, their fashion line's insane, and I can't wait to be a part of that as well. But also what they do off the field, I feel like they have big influence when it comes to just anything. So I mean, I'm gonna run a lot of my events and charity stuff through them.
Can you take us back to the moment when you had the opportunity presented to you? Like, what were you thinking? That is really cool.
First, I asked them if they're in the Illuminati because I heard some things about them. Obviously,
Valid,
along the way.
valid speculation.
No, just I'm not signing nothing when it comes to that. But so I asked them that, and they reassured me that they weren't in the Illuminati. And I mean, after that, stuff just took off. It's Rock Nation. You hear it in every song. So I mean, it was cool just being a part of that team. They're really bougie. I mean, they love wearing fancy stuff and saying fancy lines. But again, they're family, and I love being a part of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you really just took me back to like the '08 days where you go on YouTube and look up Beyonce and Jay-Z, Illuminati, the
Like,
like single ladies backwards, and you're like the 8-year-old you was like, oh my God,
bro,
they're
I got some questions like signing my soul away and stuff. What?
I love that you
What?
were very direct, though. You said, "Hey, let's be honest here. Like, is this something I should worry about?"
Right.
are the rumors true?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me something.
confront it
Tell me
head
something I
on.
don't know.
Said, do I need to read the fine print of this contract now? No.
That's what I'm saying. I had my mom read it like 5 times.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Brad and I are like huge Beyonce fans, also Jay-Z, of course. But yeah, that is just very exciting. So we are happy for you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then moving forward, one of the last questions we ask all of our guests is pertaining to Blackness and how that's influenced your life and how you move forward in the world and hope to impact others, and also how you orient yourself around your Blackness. So if you would be willing to discuss how you've navigated your identity and what Blackness means to you.
Um, I think it means just embracing your culture and understanding that um you are who you are and to fall in love with yourself. I fell in love with myself over the years just because of who I surrounded myself with. Um, and I appreciate, everything that comes with it. I love, as you see my braids, I love my braids. Um, I love, the food we cook. I mean, I feel like the food we cook better than the other stuff. Um, but yeah, when it comes to Blackness, it's all about just embracing yourself and embracing your identity. I feel like there's no reason to be afraid or no reason to question yourself at all. Um, I feel like everybody want to be us when it comes to that.
I completely agree. That is so true. And so happy to hear that. Thank you so much.
No, no problem.
For sure. Before we sign off, is there anything else you want to add for the children, for anyone, just in general, a little signing off word.
Um, Shoot, I really got nothing to say. I mean,
Anything we didn't cover?
I feel like I was dropping gems this whole time. So
You sure
You
were.
definitely did. Actually, I will ask you one last question off script. If there was one NFL team that you would love to be drafted on, what is that dream team?
yeah, the Houston Texans for sure. CJ Stroud, he is a man of God as well, and I like how he uses him off the football screen. Um, and also the Cincinnati Bengals, just because I could be that type of receiver for him. But yeah,
It's so cool. Thank you.
I know about
Great.
We'll be on the lookout for it. Power
Yes.
manifestation.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can't wait
sir.
to hear. And good luck in the draft. That's coming up end of April, right?
Yup, end of April.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jalen. We don't have any other questions for you, so
Thank
yeah,
you for having me.
yeah, this is super fun. We appreciate it. We know you're super busy, so it was great.
Yeah.
And thank you for being our season 1 closer.
Yeah, you're wrapping up the season
You did
actually.
it.
The finale. So
Okay. Yeah.
we ended
Grand
it.
finale.
Save the best for last.
Yes, we did our big one. Well, have a good day. Thank you so much. Talk to
Y'all
you soon.
too.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
We are so grateful for your support, and thank you for listening to Identity Unboxed.
Authenticity is your guide to cast an impact on the world that you will be proud of. Signing off with pride, Tiana.
And Brad.
Thank you so much.